This story isn't just about cooking. It's about hidden potential, quiet confidence, and the kind of power that doesn't need to be loud to be real. When a world-class chef walked into a high-pressure kitchen disguised as a nobody, no one had any idea what was about to happen, especially the arrogant man who dared to challenge her. In the heart of Chicago's fine dining scene, inside a gleaming high-end kitchen, stood executive chef Maxwell Richards, known for his rigid control and icy demeanor. With narrowed eyes and a mocking grin, he pointed at a seemingly ordinary red-haired woman named Amy and gave her an impossible task: prepare a flawless beef Wellington, the most demanding dish on the restaurant's exclusive menu. What Maxwell didn't know was that this unassuming woman was none other than Amelia Hartwell, a chef whose name once echoed across the finest kitchens in Europe. Years ago, Amelia had run Leto, a restaurant in Paris that earned 3 Michelin stars faster than any other in history. Her dishes weren't just meals, they were experiences that brought tears to seasoned food critics. Especially her beef Wellington. It was said to be a transcendent creation, but success had a price. The pressure, the perfectionism, the constant expectations had drained her spirit. Burnt out, Amelia disappeared from the spotlight 2 years ago. She swapped her world of fame for a quiet sabbatical, craving authenticity and rediscovery. Now, at 34, she found herself back in a kitchen elevation, one of Chicago's top restaurants, posing as a humble line cook under the name Amy Hartwell. Dressed plainly, hair dyed a modest red, she approached the hostess early that morning and asked for a prep cook position. Her resume was subtle, leaving out her accolades. She wasn't there to impress anyone. She was gathering insights for her upcoming book about reclaiming joy in cooking by working quietly inside America's best restaurants. Maxwell, now 42, had no idea who she really was. Known for perfectionism and harsh leadership, he barely skimmed her resume. Got any experience? He barked. Trained in France, Amelia replied, careful to stay vague. Small restaurants mostly. HMPH, Maxwell grunted. Prep vegetables today. We're short-staffed for tomorrow's James Beard event. Try not to slice a finger. With a polite smile, she accepted the role. The morning passed with her silently observing the kitchen's environment. Maxwell relentlessly barked at his staff, nitpicking everything while hogging credit for the successes. She noticed him tampering with others' dishes, altering them unnecessarily before they left the pass. He hovered around her station, insulting her flawless knife work. This isn't a diner. We run a high-caliber operation here, he sneered. Amelia just nodded. Ironically, the very knife technique she used had been taught to her by a master who spent 5 decades perfecting it. Maxwell didn't have a clue. The other staff looked at her with curiosity, occasionally offering supportive glances. No one knew the quiet woman was evaluating every detail of the kitchen, not just as a cook, but as a renowned expert gathering material for her book Behind the Kitchen Door, America's Culinary Identity Crisis. The next day, tensions ran high. As Elevation prepared for the high-stakes James Beard dinner, Maxwell paced the kitchen like a drill sergeant, snapping at cooks. In the chaos, he suddenly pointed to Amelia. You, come here. She calmly stepped forward. VIP table, requested beef Wellington. Since you're supposedly trained in French cuisine, let's see what you can do. A wave of silence swept across the kitchen. Everyone knew Maxwell's Wellington was his pride and joy. He never let anyone else touch it. Amelia replied gently. I've never made your version before, chef. Exactly, he smirked. Make it anyway. If you fail, you're out. Sous Chef Daniel, passing by, whispered, he's setting you up. No one touches that recipe. Amelia picked up the recipe card and studied it. The basics were fine, but it lacked artistry. The mushroom blend was basic, the pastry prep uninspired. As Maxwell smirked and walked away, she felt a familiar sensation settle in laser focus. She wasn't going to make his Wellington, she was going to make the Wellington her version. With confident hands, she began selecting ingredients, ignoring the skeptical stares. Maxwell hovered, throwing barbs. You know where to start. I'm just evaluating the ingredients, she said steadily. It's not rocket science. Though maybe it is for someone like you. She held her composure. The tenderloin was decent, not great, but she could work with it. She improved the mushroom filling with a dash of Madeira why not in his recipe. But essential for real depth. Staff around her began noticing the shift. She wasn't the quiet girl from yesterday anymore. Her hands moved with silent authority. She chopped without measuring, tasted instinctively, adjusted by feel not guesswork. You're overcooking that, Maxwell warned, as she seared the beef. Without missing a beat, she said, it needs 20 more seconds for the proper Maillard reaction. He blinked. The technical term, and her confidence caught him off guard, as she wrapped the tenderloin in prosciutto, added the mushroom blend, and prepared the pastry. She worked like a surgeon. Every move was intentional, each fold flawless. When she began assembling the lattice topping, sous chef Daniel watched in awe. Where did you learn that? He asked quietly. A small place in Lehigh Valley, she replied, leaving out that she invented it. Maxwell was visibly tense. When Amelia suggested changes to the flavor profile, he barked, my Wellington doesn't need improvement. She simply smiled. Then think of it as a reinterpretation. When the dish finally went into the oven, Maxwell challenged, aren't you timing it? I'll know when it's done, she answered. He insisted on 42 minutes. She responded softly. This one needs 38. The thickness and meat temperature demand it. His eyes narrowed. Something didn't add up, as she created side accompaniments, something Maxwell never let line cooks do. She prepared a rich red wine sauce and delicately roasted baby carrots. Everything she touched seemed to shimmer with intention. Daniel leaned over to Maxwell. She cooks like a master chef. Maxwell began searching her name online. As he scrolled, his face paled. 30-7 minutes in, Amelia approached the oven. It's not time yet. Maxwell snapped. It's ready. She turned to him, and for the first time, her calm demeanor cracked, revealing the presence of someone in full command. The pastry is golden. The internal temperature is precisely 128, rising to 132 during resting. That's the perfect medium rare. Stunned silence. She removed the Wellington, a golden, glistening sculpture. 7 minutes of resting time passed. Maxwell stared at her, still processing the truth. Your name isn't Amy, he said slowly. You're Amelia Hartwell. Guilty, she confirmed with a small smile. The kitchen erupted into gasps. One young cook froze, mouth open. You're that Amelia Hartwell? Daniel whispered. You're a legend. I'm standing right here, she said lightly. Though I think Michael Jordan is the Amelia Hartwell of basketball. Maxwell was now fuming, confused, and embarrassed. Why are you here? I'm writing a book, exploring real kitchens, finding joy in cooking again. She looked around, but there's no joy here, just fear. Daniel, still in awe, asked to slice the Wellington. It was flawless, perfect layers, ideal tenderness. The beef glistened like a gem. Even Maxwell was speechless. Amelia tasted the sauce, adjusted it with a single grain of salt, and said, plate it, our guests are waiting. As the dish went out, Maxwell confronted her again. You came here under false pretenses. You humiliated me. I didn't come to humiliate, she replied. I came to learn, but I also saw a kitchen ruled by fear instead of passion. Maxwell, still angry, fired back, easy to say for someone who quit at her peak. Yes, she said, quietly emotional, because the joy had been lost. Cooking became about stars, not people. Just then, the dining manager burst in. Chef, the guests are raving. The James Beard rep wants to meet the chef. Maxwell hesitated. Then, Miss Hartwell prepared it. She deserves the credit. But Amelia stepped in. Tell them it was prepared by Chef Richards and his team. It's his kitchen, his dish. We cooked it together. Maxwell stared at her. Why would you do that? Because this isn't about ego. It's about why we started cooking in the first place. For the first time, he softened. Would you show me how you made that duck cell? Of course. And you can teach me your scallop technique. That sear was beautiful. And so, the chef once feared became a student again. Together, they cooked, sharing skills, stories, laughter. Weeks later, as Amelia packed her things, Daniel said, "I still can't believe you're leaving. My work here is done." Maxwell approached with news. The publishers love the collaboration idea, and the test dishes are promising. Servers carried out the evening special and updated beef Wellington, his technique. Her heart. As Amelia left, Maxwell extended his hand. "Your legacy here will last." She shook it. Not a legacy, just a reminder of what's possible when we cook with both precision and passion. Behind her, Maxwell laughter, rare, genuine sound. The kitchen had changed forever. This story teaches us that real greatness isn't always loud or flashy. Sometimes, the most powerful people are the ones who walk in quietly and let their work speak for itself. Amelia didn't need to prove anything, she just needed to cook from the heart. What would you have done in her place? Tell us in the comments. And if this story moved you, don't forget to like and subscribe for more inspiring tales from behind the scenes. Passion always finds its way back to the surface, even in the toughest kitchens.